Hey, you want me in gallery view or speaker view, Katie?
I'm doing speaker view.
Speaker view, okay.
This is good, just like that, Katie. It's great.
Yes, looks good.
Doug Fine's in the house. All right.
Hey, Doug.
Woohoo! Doug left.
Hi, Lane. All right. So we'll get going here in a minute. Let's let people come in. Like in Hawaii, you say the things are going to start at 5:45. So this way by 6 o'clock, people are here. As we love to speak of the Hawaii time. There's Greg Smith. Hi, Greg. Aloha.
Smith.
All the hempsters, man. Love it. Okay, well, let's get started here. Aloha, everybody. My name is Vincent Mina. I'm the president of Hawaii Farmers Union United and also of our foundation. I have the honor to lead this organization now since 2012. Back in 2014, we started to advocate for hemp. And in 2016, we had our convention on Big Island Smiling at OK Farms. And we had a panel, our first hemp panel, speaking about hemp. Greg was there, Greg Smith, who's on tonight, Doug Fine. And so really appreciate that we're able to, every year, we look forward to having provocative hemp tracks at our convention. And with the leadership of Gail Baber and Doug Fine, we've been able to bring all that forward. And so we really appreciate the leadership by you folks to do that. I just turn them loose. I say, guys, get us some provocative stuff that people need to hear, where the status of hemp is. And so, for those of you that are on this call and don't know much about HFUU, we have 13 chapters statewide. We are a state chapter of the National Farmers Union that has been in existence since 1906. We're actually 18 years older than the Farm Bureau. And it's been built on family farms. And so I really feel fortunate that we have a chapter here in Hawaii. Back in 2017, we were able to position ourselves both with membership and with financials and with core leadership to become a chartered chapter of the National Farmers Union, which brought Hawaii a vote at the national board level. And so because of that position of having that stature here in Hawaii, the governor appointed HFUU a seat on the Board of Agriculture, of which I presently sit. And it's been very heartening to see that working within the system, we, through the efforts of being on the Board of Ag, I've been able to influence the agricultural sector to come to the table and work together on a soil health initiative that we're bringing forward for the past 6-7 months. So we're in the demonstration mode. As per our convention, between December 9th and the 12th, we're going to have a video about that demonstration of soil health initiative. So stay tuned, because this is something where HFUU is part of our mission to create vibrant and prosperous agricultural communities here in Hawaii. And 90% of our leadership are producers here. Greg Smith was a former president of the Kauai chapter, for instance. And so, we really value the fact that the people that lead this organization just don't talk about agriculture, they're actually living it, making a living at it. So with that said, I feel very excited to have another hemp track and to start it off with Elizzy Knight being the moderator tonight, and she'll introduce our panel. Elizzy is a dear friend, along with Morris Beagle, with Colorado Hemp Company. They've been advocates and supporters of HFUU. I'm wearing the shirt from their convention here in Hilo back in 2017. It's like new because I keep it like new. I love this shirt. And I love just representing hemp here in Hawaii. And I truly want HFUU to be a leader in advocating for hemp. I want our small farmers to be able to process their hemp products on their land. And so, we have to really have a voice at the legislature. And the way to do that, folks, is be a member of HFUU. So our numbers will, show the legislature like nobody's business. We know kid, we're there to represent, and we want to bring this forward. So without further ado, Elizzy Knight, aloha, sweetheart. Nice to see you, Liz. And thank you for being here tonight and moderating. So I'll leave it up to you, and I'll sit back and enjoy. Aloha.
Okay, aloha, Vincent. It's great to be here with you all tonight in Hawaii. I'm Elizzy Knight, co-founder of WAFBA, which means We Are for Better Alternatives, and the producer of the NoCo Hemp Expo, which is taking place in Denver, Colorado next March 23rd through 25th, 2022. And I'm just so thankful for the opportunity to be involved with the HFU convention, and of course, a proud member of the Haleakala chapter. And although I'm in Colorado, my spirit is with you all tonight in Hawaii. And thank you, Douglas and Vincent, for inviting me to be a part of your conference tonight. I'm very excited to introduce to you all on the Zoom tonight 3 guests who are really on the cutting edge of industrial hemp innovations that include fiber and grain production for the beneficial food sources and oil seed crops. We're going to discuss new products for the building industry, including batteries, hempcrete, which can be used to reduce greenhouse gases. We're going to take a look at farming best practices for local, sustainable, regenerative crops, and take a look at some USDA certified organic farming on Kauai, as well as you'll get to hear from a 4th generation Norwegian hemp farmer up in South Dakota. So with these farmers locally growing their products, they are building a community and helping to create jobs and really utilizing the best agricultural practices for the next phases of growing industrial hemp. And tonight, we'll hear how hemp has many uses that go far beyond CBD. And CBD is awesome. It got us here, but there are so many more uses to the plant, and we're going to discuss a few of them tonight. So my panelists tonight include River Young. He's with Hemp Solutions Hawaii. And River has over 10 years experience in the hemp space as a consultant, an owner. He's been a grower, he's processed, and also a brand expert. And previously, River founded and ran Hawaii's first USDA certified organic hemp farm and processing facility on the island of Kauai. And currently, he is the CEO of Hemp Solutions Kauai, and they provide consulting and alternative hemp building solutions. Our second guest is Megan Womble, and she is also with Hemp Solutions Hawaii. And Megan is currently working as a consultant in the areas of cannabis and hemp, with an emphasis on compliance, policy development, business operations, and personnel management and development. She is also a founder of the Kauai Hemp Company, and Megan helped to develop Kauai's first and only vertically integrated and off-the-grid organic hemp farm and organic CBD processing facility. And this year, Megan, co-founder of the Hemp Solution, and is really focused on the large-scale industrial applications for hemp that will really benefit Hawaii's agricultural industry. So we'll look forward to hearing a lot from you tonight, Megan. And also tonight we have Roger Gushis. He's with Healthy Oil Seeds up in North Dakota, my neighbor up here to the north and east. And Roger started farming in 1979, and throughout those years raised 24 different crops, including growing hemp seed for grain and CBD. And he has a wide range of knowledge as a grower, a business owner, a producer, an exporter, and likes to share his expertise with those wanting to learn more. So right now, let's please welcome River, Megan, and Roger, and we'll go ahead and get started. So thank you guys for being here. River, I'd like to start with you, and please tell us and the group, you know, how you became involved in hemp and what was your why factor? Why did you decide to jump into industrial hemp in Kauai? And take your mute off. There you go.
Yeah, so originally I was a cannabis consultant, and that was before I met Megan. So I didn't have someone to consult me on compliance, and cannabis is a compliance business. I mean, there's brick walls everywhere. And as we went on, I got into CBD, and then now we're getting into more industrial hemp. So it just evolved from cannabis, I guess is the simple answer.
So what was the main reason you decided to get out of the medical and or marijuana side and go specifically into hemp?
Yeah, so I'd say it was compliance. Currently, Megan and I are in the cannabis hui, so we still pay attention to the lobbying and rules and regulations of cannabis. And as recreational cannabis hits Hawaii, hopefully in the near future, 3 to 4 years, we would like to get back into it. But at the moment, I think we can get a lot further and make bigger changes in the state of Hawaii with hemp.
Excellent. Tell us a little bit about your company and what you guys are looking to do.
Yeah, sure. Do you mind if I share my screen here?
That would be great.
Yeah. So you guys can see that?
Yes.
Full screen mode. Yeah, so the company that we founded and own is Hemp Solutions Kauai, and we want to revitalize Hawaiian agriculture through hemp. The reason for that is we live in the world's most isolated chain of islands, and we import more than 80% of all our goods. I believe we import 90% of our food, and that, to me, that just doesn't make sense. And then on top of that, shipping costs are going up. Resources are going up, mainly due to population increase. I know in Kauai, there's more people moving here, and finding a home is quite difficult. So as resources are used up, and I think people have to find new ways to kind of innovate and change with change, and find new solutions. So our solution that we think would have the greatest impact is a product called hempcrete. So we believe that the future of the housing industry is hempcrete or hemp products. Hemp is an amazing product because it covers more or multiple building material products. So not just one, but it could be a siding, insulation, roofing material. So we can bring affordable building materials derived from local hemp fields on the island. That'll help make us a more sustainable chain of islands. And then I'll share this with the group as well, so you guys can check it out later. Another reason we chose hempcrete as a primary product was the simplicity of it. So hemp, water, and a binder, and that's lime. And it took us about 6 months, maybe 7 months, to find a binder that worked. But anyone can make it, and the potential of growing your own homes, I mean, that's really inspiring.
Very exciting.
Yeah, it's and then the underlying magic of hempcrete. So on top of it being an ag product which you can grow, once you create it, it's mold, pest, and mildew resistant. It's 80% more efficient than a conventional home. And this is yet to be tested in Hawaii. We're thinking AC savings, but I know in colder climates, that's something we found out. And then it turns into petrified rock lasting hundreds of years. And then it's fire resistant and ignition proof. So, I mean, do I have to say more? And then some insight.
Mold resistant is so good for you guys on the island. We don't have mold in Colorado, so fire resistant is good for us, and hempcrete can do both and also not put off any toxic fumes into your living area as well.
Totally. Yeah, I learned there's a firefighter on our team, and he taught me, or just told me the other day, that most people, if there's a death in a fire, it's from the smoke of the toxins that they inhale, not the actual fire itself. I was like, okay, natural building material, here we come. A couple of insights for Hawaii. Governor Ige promised $1.1 billion in state capital improvements for 2022. Honolulu Department of Planning and Permitting executives have recently vowed to ensure building permits don't get bogged down with red tape. Crossing my fingers on that. Hawaii's biggest issue is the growing demand for affordable homes. Recently researched and found out that affordable homes is a global issue. So every country in the world has, so you can look this up, but every country in the world has an affordable homes issue. So I think this idea or this concept can get a lot bigger than Hawaii. And then Hawaii is seeking solutions through the development of new forms of concrete to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. So just all indications that we're in the right space. The global market for construction materials is a $1 trillion business. So capturing just 0.25% of that would be great.
Be great.
Concrete is the single most widely used material in the world, and it has a carbon footprint to match. So that graph clearly shows that, it's huge. So if cement were an industry or a country, it would be the third largest carbon dioxide emitter in the world, behind the US and China. And currently, hempcrete's used as more of an insulation material. So it cannot replace traditional concrete right now. But as more in R&D occurs, we're not sure where it's gonna go.
Wow, hempcrete is amazing in what it can do in so many different areas of the world. It's really exciting to hear what you guys are doing. Good job.
And then for the environment, hemp absorbs 4 times more CO2 than trees. So hempcrete has the potential to reduce over 70% of the cement industry's greenhouse gas emissions by 2050, the equivalent of 4% worldwide of all greenhouse gas emissions. So I mean, that's exciting as well.
Hey River, we're not seeing your slides though. Are you posting slides? We just see your homepage, Hemp Solutions Kauai. We don't see your slides.
Oh, you don't see them moving?
No.
Okay. Let's see. Maybe I can reshare. Oh, so you guys aren't seeing these amazing graphics that we jumped up? Okay,
no, actually, if you open it up on your desktop and then you share it, would probably be the best way.
Yeah, it's open there.
Okay.
You know what I'll do? I'll also share it in this this chat room.
And I just wanted to welcome Gail Baber, came on, so the other rock star we all love.
Hi, Gail.
Is that working?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'll let you guys flip through these later, but these are kind of what I was just talking about as far as the simplicity of hempcrete, underlying magic of hempcrete, the market.
You mentioned that. I wanted to ask you a question, River. You mentioned that Governor Ige has committed $1 billion in 2022 for the growth of new projects. Do you know if any of that is going to be allocated for infrastructure to process the hemp once you guys start growing it?
Definitely not. So that's for traditional big infrastructure. I don't know, bigger project with traditional concrete.
Okay.
And then let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, so we already pointed this out, but 30 years ago, home took 17 minutes to burn down. Today, the average home burns down 3 to 4 minutes, emitting toxic smoke. So that's quite a difference. And then hemp homes are virtually fire resistant, taking 2+ hours to burn down. So I think from a fire perspective, I mean, definitely a superior product. And then our role, Megan and I and Hemp Solutions, we're looking to spark this industry, just get it going somehow. I think hempcrete is the product that's possibly the simplest to launch and put into a huge industry, being the construction industry. But we want to position ourselves to be able to contract hemp farmers to grow a lot of biomass. Then we want to process raw biomass into materials for entrepreneurs and create jobs. And then we want to share our formulas of hempcrete, batteries, hemp feed, and hopefully young entrepreneurs can just run with it. So that's where we've positioned ourselves. Yeah, fun fact. So they've already been using hempcrete for years. And so we're not inventing or reinventing the wheel. This is just peeking into history and bringing it forward. So yeah, exciting stuff.
Excellent. Thank you. Megan, rolling over to you for a minute. Can you talk with us about the consulting work that you've done to improve the compliance and policies for Hawaii's agriculture, and what does the future really look like for hemp genetics and getting the right seeds in the ground? And so what are you facing in challenges there?
Well, as we mentioned earlier, River and I were founders in Kauai's first USDA certified organic hemp farm with a focus on CBD and CBG production. So the genetics that we chose, we went through an R&D process. We went through, quite a few strains and ended up settling on a few that were really great for our environment, our growing conditions. We are tropical, so there's a lot of challenges, particularly when you're growing a more boutique product, a health and wellness product, basically. And then from the federal side, every hemp farmer will tell you that the 0.3% THC threshold limit is an arbitrary number, and it can be really hard to hit that number. But what we did has been tried and tested. And so we've consulted a handful of additional hemp farms, help secure licenses, set them up with genetics, so they then can develop their own product lines. As far as the path to compliance and what we're talking about with hempcrete, there's an additional layer of compliance there. Not only do you have that 0.3% threshold that you're dealing with, but you also have building codes that you have to comply with. And hempcrete is not structural. So I want to be clear that right now we're not utilizing hempcrete for anything structural. But hopefully, there is potential there in the future with further research and development. But we're working with a really great organization called the U.S. Hemp Building Foundation, and they're actually developing framework around what the international building codes will look like in the future, which will set a precedence for other building codes. Kauai doesn't necessarily follow that specific building code, but if they get hempcrete as an allowable material in an international building code, that then will translate down to us. It'll, trickle down effect eventually we will be using that in Hawaii. So it's really exciting. The timing is great for the alternative building materials industry to start to blossom and bloom. And like River said, we're really just trying to light a spark here. We want to help support other farmers, other entrepreneurs in their endeavors, because there's plenty of room at the table. There's a lot of applications for hemp for this community that is beneficial to all of us.
Excellent, thank you. What are some of the other market opportunities that you see really expanding in Hawaii? And then, of course, there's always challenges. What are the main challenges that are keeping you from getting where you really want to be?
So one portion of the hemp industry that I'm really excited about would be the hemp feed. Hemp feed, just like any other food or building material, is shipped in from the mainland. But we see tremendous potential, and research is showing that hemp as an animal feed can be a very viable industry. Now, from a compliance perspective, we're facing the same challenge that we are with the building codes. So there's organizations that are working with, the vet associations, with the USDA, to get hemp on the approved list of, allowable inputs to feed. But that's one place that I'm really excited for. I think that, to answer the second part of your question, it's always compliance. And so we have to continue to work within the system, research, educate, and run our own trials in the meantime.
Excellent. So you're becoming the compliance expert in Kauai, is that right?
Thank you. What a beautiful compliment. My mom always told me I should have been a lawyer. I really found a niche in enjoying the compliance part of the business, which for my relationship with River really works well, because that's the last thing he wants to do. So he's the yes guy, I'm the no person.
I would be the same way, for sure. In Colorado, we have the Hemp Feed Coalition. Mm-hmm. It's really gaining a lot of momentum right now. I encourage you to check it out, hempfeedcoalition.com, and making a lot of progress in the state of Colorado, moving hemp as animal feed forward. So check it out if you get an extra minute. So thank you, Megan. Really appreciate that. While I'm still kind of talking to you guys, and before I jump over to you, Roger, can you, River, and Megan just share some of the results from your state-funded snapshot book at the hemp industry in Hawaii, and what we talked about earlier today a little bit?
On the link that I posted, the Kauai impact study. So we were contracted by the Economic Development Office a couple of years ago, last year, to look at hemp in all aspects. And this is we were in the CBD space, and a very gifted gentleman named Bo Whitney. He did the report for us, and he really shed light on the potential of hemp in Hawaii beyond CBD. And bioplastics was a big one. We were looking at or listening to the stories about the first car that was made out of hemp, and so many other products. And I think Bo's currently working with us on some bioplastic options, such as cutlery and other things. So I think, yeah, that's huge. And then in that report, which the link's in the chat room there, it shows some open areas that hemp would grow well in. So you guys can check out those maps. So there's a ton of land in Hawaii where we think hemp would grow well, and hemp grows well anywhere in the world, but I think it will grow especially well here in Hawaii.
Yes. There is a question about the $1 billion promised. I think it's $1 billion, or is it $1 million? from Governor Ige, and how can farmers learn about it and participate and find out where they can get their hands on some of this funding?
Yeah, maybe
Megan,
we
do you
can.
know with it?
Yeah, we can do some more research in that. So right now it's just a promise. I don't think there's anything substantive with that, but hopefully it turns into something more concrete, no pun intended. And then, and maybe there is a way where some sort of building with hempcrete could be incorporated with that. But I'm not sure. We have a little ways to go before that will happen.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
To add on to River's point there, it's really important right now, in particular, for farmers, processors, producers in whatever realm of the supply chain of farming that you participate in, to be very plugged into the supportive organizations. I know that our economic development office for the county of Kauai has been tremendously supportive with grant funding and other types of funding to help push these initiatives forward. So I just encourage everybody to get involved with your community, get involved with your government entities. I mean, if you're in the hemp industry, then you need to be not only lobbying, but you just need to be advocating for yourself and staying plugged in. And then some of that money starts to trickle down.
Yes. Excellent. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. We'll come back to you in a little bit. Right now, I'm going to jump over to Roger. Good evening, Roger.
Hello.
Roger's with Healthy Oil Seeds out of North Dakota, and doing some amazing pressing of seeds and feeds. And Roger, you do a lot with a little tiny seed, and you've gotten it all over the world. And so tell us about your seed production facility and how it's cold pressed and how the most beneficial plant protein in the world is getting bottled and put into a jar and sent all over the world.
Thank you. Thanks for the invitation to speak at your show too. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Our business, Healthy Oil Seeds, located in Carrington, North Dakota. We started as a specialty oilseed business in 2002, starting with flaxseed, which a lot of you probably know what that is, and then also a crop called borage, which is a great pollinator, and bees love it. And then later in 2016, when we could start growing hemp in the state of North Dakota, we started processing hemp also. The processing we do cold press expelling, which is pressing the oil out, and what's left is mainly, a lot of protein, good protein. And we do milling, sifting, and bottling along with the pressing. We've done business now in 24 countries and 49 states, including Hawaii. We've sent oil several times to Hawaii, hemp seed oil. Our business is a family business. My wife, who is originally from Kazakhstan, my wife Nurgul, is very involved with the business. And my sister Karen, living in Minnesota, is very involved with the business also. Every day they're very involved. My son Brock was also a partner in the business, and he passed away in 2018. But we have a lot of good memories of him and involved with our business. Let's see. When we're processing, it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which is probably 50 weeks out of the year. So we are. It is like if you want to talk about farming or compare it to farming, it's like milking cows. You got to be here all the time, or somebody has to be here almost all the time. It will run for itself for a while, but you need to check on it. We've sold hemp for so many different uses. I can't name them all. And a lot of new things that people are working on. We have sold a little bit of product. Megan, you mentioned how good it is as a feed. and it is an excellent feed. You're absolutely right. Great for horses. You must have horses in Hawaii. I'm sure you have many. And it's like almost like a miracle product for them once they start eating it. A lot of horses have. I'm not an expert at anything, but as far as what I hear anyway, a lot of horses have stomach problems from maybe traveling from place to place. If they're performance horses, show horses, or whatever, they're trailered, and when they're trailered, it's makes them nervous and it's very hard on their stomach. Hemp will help take care of that problem, and it's a very, very cheap cure compared to a veterinarian. You go to a veterinarian and you might spend for this problem $800 to $1,200 a month. This is probably going to be less than $10 a month, or no more than $10 a month. Also, another thing that I know the hemp feed, you mentioned the Hemp Feed Coalition, I think, Lizzie, and thank you for mentioning that. It's very important to us. They're working on, doing so many different studies on hemp, feeding laying hens or chickens that produce the eggs and produce an omega egg. That's a very good product, more healthy egg, better for all of us. But Hemp Feed Coalition is working on these, trying to get this approved for feeds. And if anyone's interested, though, the Hemp Feed Coalition does need help too, as far as if you want to help with a donation or some other with your knowledge, that'd be great. We'd really appreciate that. I guess that's about all I have to say.
How many employees do you have?
There's 8 of us. It doesn't require a lot of employees. It doesn't require a lot of labor, but 8 people.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about the hemp seed, okay? Such an amazing and powerful little seed, but you're pressing the oil out of the seed, and maybe share with the group tonight the difference between CBD hemp extract and hemp seed oil.
Well, the CBD, the extract comes from the flower of the plant. And this comes from, and you probably, I guess, depending on the person growing the CBD, but most likely they want all female plants, no male plants. For us, it doesn't, we need both male and female because we need the pollen to produce the seed. There's problems with maybe some THC that's getting a little bit too high in CBD. Usually that's not a problem for us in grain. Our THC levels are very low, and that's usually not a problem. And our CBD levels would be quite low too. We're more interested in the very healthy protein and also the very good oils, rich in omegas, omega fats, and it's a healthy fat. When we hear of fat, usually doesn't sound good, but this is a healthy fat. And the protein is a great protein. All the essential, it's a full protein. I'm trying to think of a word. I'm sorry, it's a little bit late here. It is. I'm in, like I said, North. I'm sorry. It has all the amino acids. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yes.
Hey, Lizzie.
Thank you,
Lizzie. Lizzie, if I could jump in a minute here. Thanks to Doug Fine for turning me on to Hemp Hearts. Where is it at? Let me see if I can get it on film here. Okay. Anyhow, I make a amazing pancake out of hemp hearts and these Birch Bender's pancake mix. It doesn't come on the screen. Anyhow, I hear about animals eating hemp seed. My God, this animal loves them in his pancakes.
Great.
That's excellent. So Roger, do you have a specific genetics that you're growing to press the oil out of all your seeds? and make all of the other products from that?
We use several different varieties, and we've done taste tests, and I'm not sure if one is really any better than the other as far as taste. There are, it's the agronomics of growing hemp and then harvesting the hemp. Some seem to harvest better than others, so the farmers like the agronomics.
The Biden administration has directed its focus to the Build Back Better package.
But as far as taste or anything like that, we don't really think there's really a lot of difference in taste between one seed to the other. So the verdict is still out on that. But it's really important to have fresh product. And we watch Peroxide Bayou, and Peroxide Bayou is just telling you if it's it's starting to turn, maybe if it's starting to get a little bit of rancidity or something like that, we don't want it. And so we do lots of testing before we do processing. It is a raw product, the hemp seed is. So we need to do a lot of different micros testing. We are food safety certified, so we check for E. coli, salmonella, mold, yeast, and several other things we have to check for before we can start the processing. So we do this even before the farmer brings the hemp to us.
Excellent. So, when you're looking at the metrics as to what it takes to really grow an acre, what is a good oil yield per acre?
Oil yield.
Do you measure that?
Well, we measure if some varieties do have just a slight amount better oil content, but as far as yield per acre, as far as poundage of the seed, we'd like to see at least 1,000 pounds per acre. And some people have got even more than double that. And then as far as the oil, the way we press it, we do mechanically pressing or cold press expelling, and it's not quite as efficient as we'd like. There is there's 8 to 10% fat content left in the protein, and we'd like to get more and more of that out of it. But but as an organic crop, or people that use hemp, that's the only way they want it pressed. There is hexane extraction, and a lot of oil seeds, including soybeans and canola, are pressed using hexane extraction. And we don't think that's a very viable way to press it, because it leaves a little bit of hexane residue in the oil, and then the oil is used for cooking, and it ends up in our body. We don't want that. So we're just doing a mechanically pressing, cold press expelling.
Mechanical, okay. So is it true that you don't want to cook with the hemp seed oil because of the high heat, and you would want to use something like avocado oil? And can the hemp seed oil go rancid? You mentioned that earlier.
It could go rancid. It usually has a shelf life of at least a year. And you would not want to heat it. You could use it on salads, and it works very good on salads. But as far as heating it as in cooking, it is not good to do that. It becomes unstable at high temperatures, and the peroxide value raises, or level raises. Excuse me.
Can you share with the group how you increased your business in over 20 countries over the past 20 years? I mean, your products are getting exported to 20 countries. I mean, that's really impressive.
Well, thank you. That was my son was very involved with that, and I've been somewhat involved, and my wife Nurgul and my sister Karen, we've all been on trade missions. And trade missions is very important to go on a trade mission and meet the people that we would like to do business with. Most of the time they want to meet us first, and maybe gain friendship, maybe come to visit us. and mainly gaining trust. And some countries, that's how it works. In America, it seems like it's very easy to make a phone call, or from the buyer's side, or from us as a seller's side, making a phone call, and then doing business later that day or that week or something like that. But it's not like that in a lot of countries. I'm going to gain trust first. And so we've all been on trade missions and met many people, and these people have become very, very good friends. And we just and it's been a life-changing experience for us just to be able to have friends in many, many different countries. It's been great.
That's excellent. Good for you guys.
Thank you.
You offer conventional and organic hemp products.
That's
and
right.
So you're organic and kosher, but does hemp seed really have to be certified organic? Because is there another GMO that could take its place?
No, there are not any GMO. There's no GMO hemp. But as far as if it's just if the land is certified organic, it will have to be. It takes 3 years to convert your land to organic, and that would be 0 pesticides and 0 synthetic fertilizers. And so that's it. So there might have been a GMO crop. There could have been a pesticide applied the year before hemp was put on in this ground, if it's a conventional crop. But organic, I mean, it had to at least been 3 years since anything like that had happened, had been applied. And that's the difference. Even though you're not going to add any, you could add fertilizer, synthetic fertilizers to a conventional hemp crop, but you could not add any. There are no pesticides labeled right now yet.
Great. You touched on this a little bit, but one of our questions is, can you tell us about the process and equipment used for the process of getting the oil out of the seed?
Mm-hmm. Well, to get the oil out of the seed, it's a screw press. So in other words, it's just putting a lot of pressure on the seed, squeezing the seed, and oil will flow out and out around the, I'd have to show you, I'm sorry, but I'm not explaining very well. But as far as it's a perforated tube, and it's pushing the oil out, and at the end comes the protein, what's left, which would be hulls. If you're not dehulling, it's the hull, and it's that hemp heart or hemp nut.
I see. Okay.
Sorry.
I saw on your website that you make roasted hemp seeds, and I just had to find out if you have them covered with chocolate, because that's the best thing in the world.
Not yet, but that sounds really good. Yes.
It's really good. And they're tiny but mighty when they're covered in dark chocolate. So let's make some. I'll help you.
Hey, Lizzy, this is Vincent. My doctor just told me I needed to get more magnesium in my diet. And I said, well, what's high in magnesium? He said chocolate. I said, oh, you had me right there. I'm good.
Now you can get omegas and your magnesium, all the good stuff together in your hemp seeds covered with chocolate.
Absolutely.
Well, excellent. I'd like to open up right now for questions to any of our panelists. We have about a good 10 minutes left, and happy to answer any questions you guys have. Chocolate is also high in CBD. Okay, woohoo! Put some CBD hemp seed in dark chocolate. We'll be having a party.
Yeah, baby.
Who has some questions tonight or anything else to add? You guys have been amazing.
Yeah, I have a question. This is Greg. Can you hear me?
Hi, Greg. Yeah, hi, Greg.
Hi. Yeah. I've been growing hemp here in Hawaii for a while, and we have different issues here than they do in South Dakota. And fact, anywhere else. So I'm kind of wanting to know if it really seems feasible to grow hemp seed in Hawaii compared to all the other states that can grow it on scale. We just haven't seen the scale here yet. That's probably one of the biggest issues. There's been people who've been able to grow a few acres, and of course, year round is one of the big advantages that we have, but to be able to do the 100 acres or anything on that scale, it just hasn't happened. So I would like River and Megan to please kind of tell me what they think when it comes to this issue.
Yeah, we're happy to expand on that. I guess I'll jump in first. So we're working on a really exciting project that I'm not allowed to disclose who we're working with right now in this moment. But we have a phased approach to how we're going to be working with them. We're going to go in first and help out with some remediation problems because we have obviously soil problems in Hawaii. And then we're going to use fiber to, help build houses, help grow houses basically. And then the third phase of this project will be a dual crop where we're going to do a fiber and grain combination so that these farmers can continue to have dual streams of income, basically grow your house and grow your food or your animal fodder. And from what I understand, after some conversations with hemp mainland farmers, that's where farmers are doing scale, and that's where the farmers are starting to make money is with these dual crops. Side note, River and I are going to be on Big Island in the not too distant future, and we'll have to connect and chat a lot more about this.
Yeah, and what to piggyback on that, our focus is to find distribution before lighting off, say, 100 acres. We do have access to, say, 1,000 acres, and could it be done? I believe so. But we want to make sure we can sell it. It's a short crop. It grows in 4.5 months. So if I can find a way, there's an example. This is some of the fiber part. So if I can take this, and we did an experiment with one of our R&D guys, asked them, make me something. How about AA battery with this fiber stuff? So he made me this. I was like, great. So this is from hemp fiber, that little bag I showed you guys. And it's a AA battery. He's like, no, it's not a AA battery. It's an electrode for a supercapacitor. It's much better than a AA battery. Okay, well, we're onto something. So I think we could launch a product like that in a couple of years. So there's a lot, there's way many options, way many more options than just hempcrete, hemp feed. There's 25,000 uses. So if we can find a couple good ones to make some money out of it, I think it's worth the investment to light off some acreage.
And always, we firmly believe in capitalizing on the grown in Hawaii, the branding, the niche market, the uniqueness that we have in the market.
Very true.
And
Everybody wants something made in Hawaii, there's no doubt.
yeah, and I still think there's some money to be made in the CBD space. So our focus is kind of shifted to all these other new, cool, and exciting things. But there are companies out there that have the boutique style, authentic, local look, and they're doing really well. A good example is Ina Organics. Check out their website. I mean, they're doing a great branding job. They're getting into a ton of stores. They're growing quickly. And so they're proving that CBD can work in Hawaii. And the way you market it is really important.
Yeah, shout out to that business. They're a female owned and operated business doing really good things, really growing. But Greg, I've had your products. I believe in you. I believe in what you guys are doing. Your practices are totally in alignment with how we believe hemp should be grown. And we still need your strong voice in the industry. So don't give up on us.
Yeah. Don't give up. This plant has a purpose, and she is mightier than all of us put together, and all of us that come together, you know, to shine the light on her have really made a lot of progress and feel good in the heart. And we will continue to persevere, and we will win, and we will free this plant. There's people all around the world working every day to get this plant legally federal and just to become legal through all of the nations and all of the lands. And we are working hard to make it happen, and just appreciate all the work from the smallest guy to the biggest guy. And CBD has really helped to get us here, but you know, what we're doing is next, it's beyond, and we're going to take it to the next level. There's no doubt about it. So I appreciate all the work all of you people do every single day. And Roger, there is a question for you. If you do any contract pressing for other farmers, and if so, do you have minimums for other farmers to bring their seeds to you to press?
Yeah, we do a contract pressing or contract processing, and there's really no minimum. I mean, we'll work with you and work with anybody. We're not a large business, we're a small business, and that's what we say to anybody. You say, is there a minimum, or people have asked us, is there a minimum order? And say, no, there's no minimum order, and we'll grow together. And that's how we want to do it. We want to be partners for, you know, partners for a lifetime. And we've been very fortunate and work with so many good people. But yeah, I'd be glad to. And if you want to, our phone numbers on our website, Healthy Oilseeds, healthyoilseeds.com. If somebody wants a phone number, or my cell phone number is 701-652-5477. Please call me. Be glad to help any way I can. I spend a lot of time on the phone visiting with people about hemp. We also follow us on Instagram. We'd appreciate that too. But if anybody has an interest of getting into some type of processing, please call me. I'd be glad to help them any way I could. And if it's in Hawaii, I'd love to come over and visit.
Yeah. Get out of those North Dakota winters, huh?
Definitely. Yes. Yes.
Other questions? Vincent, you got anything else you want to add? Greg?
I posted my number and email in the contact or in the chat there. So feel free to reach out to us for anything.
Hey, Liz, I want to thank everybody for doing this tonight. All the presenters, you were amazing. And you know, Roger, when we first met, we both shared the fact that our sons passed, and
Yes.
you know, they were such a big part of our business. And so I'd like to just say that, you know, they're both working on the other side to bring our work forward. And I'm really happy that you're here tonight and you're doing such amazing work. And we love you, brother. And River and Megan, really so nice to hear you folks speak from this place. And, you know, the fact that we have Doug Fine on tonight and Gail Baber, you know, with Lizzie, I mean, these are all dedicated advocates and working in the trenches for hemp for many years. And so we're really fortunate as an organization to have such friends. And I want to encourage everybody to, you know, go check out Colorado Hemp Company, go check out Doug Fine and the books that he's written. You know, seek out Gail Baber. She's doing her presentation is going to be coming up. You know, Gail's is going to lead. She's going to moderate the Hemp Panel on the 16th of November, next Tuesday. Hawaii Hemp Economics and Rules. And Gail has been dogged in this. And I just want to encourage everybody here that's in leadership with hemp, you know, use me being on the Board of Agriculture, get something together that I can bring to the chair that we can put on the agenda at the Board of Agriculture level to have a discussion on hemp. and as an agenda item, on some of the issues that we want to see addressed here in Hawaii. So this way, from that platform, we can, get a message to the legislature and in a way that comes from the Department of Ag. And I know the governor, thankfully, the governor got HFUU on the Board of Ag, but he may not be the right person to bring all this forward. Maybe it's going to wait till the next governor, but that we have a year and a year's time before that occurs, right? And in that time period, we could really put together some good information to bring to the next governor. And I think we could do it through the Department of Agriculture. So please consider that, and we'll work with you. I just want to encourage everybody on the call tonight, if you're not members of HFUU, to please become one. And if you want to donate to our cause here, we're putting on all these great presentations over the next 3 weeks. We're just skipping Thanksgiving week, and we'll have on Mondays we'll have mushrooms, on Tuesdays we'll have hemp, and on Wednesdays we'll have soil health. Keeping it real simple, really easy. But this is such a beautiful forum, and I'm really appreciative that we're holding this space up until our convention, December 9th, 10th, and 11th, with the business of the organization on the 12th. So with that, I want to thank you all. May everybody stay positive and test negative. Lizzie, bless your heart. You did a great job moderating, and we'll talk to you folks later. Aloha.
Thank you, Vincent.
Thank you. Thank you.
Aloha.
Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Vincent.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Goodbye.